Hi everyone, it's Chloe here from the Class Kids team, and today we're looking at our third promise of the series, God is our peace. Now what do you think of when you hear the word peace? Maybe you think of a nice big piece of cake. Maybe you think of the peace sign that people often do in photos. But today we are learning about something much bigger and much better than those things. Have you ever heard of God's peace? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but let me tell you this, it is something much more amazing than a piece of cake, no matter how tasty it might be. But before we get into that, we're going to learn a new song called The Way. So get up on your feet, let's learn some new actions and have fun. We read in the Bible about peace. It is talked about in different stories and in different verses. A Bible verse that comes to my mind when I think about peace is from the book of Philippians. It's found in chapter 4 and we read in verses 6 and 7, "Do not worry about anything, but pray to God and ask for everything you need. And when you pray, always give thanks. And God's peace will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." The peace that God gives is so great that we cannot understand it. Maybe you have experienced some situations that have made you feel worried or scared. We have all felt like this at times, but these verses in the Bible encourage us that instead of being worried or afraid, to talk to God in prayer about everything that is going on, thank Him for everything that He has done, and then God will give you the peace that is greater than we could ever imagine or understand. It is more than simply being quiet or calm. It goes right to our hearts and keeps us focused on God instead of the problem. God is bigger than any problem we face, and when we know Him, we can trust this. Have you ever heard of a man called Daniel from the Bible? If you have, you'll probably have heard the story of him in the lion's den. Now, to make this a little more fun, I want you to listen really carefully, and every time you hear the word lion, I want you to do your best lion roar. You ready? Let's get to it. Now, Daniel was a man who loved God and trusted in Him completely. The king at the time of Daniel passed a law that meant anyone who prayed to someone who wasn't the king would be thrown into a den full of lions. Not just one lion, not just two lions, not just three lions, but a whole group of hungry lions. As soon as Daniel heard this, do you know what he did? Well, he didn't react in the way you would imagine when he heard about the lions. I think my reaction would be, lions? A den full of lions? A huge, hungry group of lions? But Daniel, however, he went straight home and prayed to God right away. There was nothing that was going to stop him praying to God. Isn't that amazing? Now, when the people found this out, they immediately told the king, and Daniel had to be thrown into the lion's den, just as the law said. But in the lion's den, Daniel, he wasn't harmed. He did not have one single scratch on him because he had trusted in God. God was able to shut the mouths of the lions and give Daniel complete peace, even when he was with the lions, that they would not harm him and that he would be completely untouched by them. Now, it's highly unlikely that we will ever come face to face with a lion, never mind be stuck in a den with a group of them, but we can experience tough times in our lives. For example, maybe you've started a new school or a new class, or maybe you're coming to the end of your journey in primary school and you're moving on soon. These are really big events in our lives that we can be afraid of. You could be part of a club or a GB or BB, and at first you were nervous and scared about meeting new people and trying new things. Or you could just simply be having an off day where you feel a little bit unsettled and you can't quite sit still and you're not quite at yourself. We have all had these experiences and feelings, but when we trust in God, just like Daniel did, pray to Him about everything instead of worrying, just like the verses in Philippians tell us, God can give us the amazing peace that can only come from Him. When God's Son, Jesus, was here on earth, He experienced lots of difficulties and hard times. But in every situation He faced, He trusted in God and prayed to Him constantly. This meant that Jesus had no need to worry because He had complete peace from His Father. So, how can we be like Daniel? Well, we can put our trust in God and pray to Him no matter what we are experiencing. But more importantly, how can we be like Jesus? Well, we need to trust in Him, say sorry for all the bad things we have done wrong, and ask Him to forgive us. Then Jesus will come into our hearts and change us, helping us to become more like Him, filling us with His love and His peace.